Welcome to Golden Bachelor. If you love celebrity news and real entertainment updates, you're in the right place. A stunning revelation shakes Bachelor Nation. Cindy Cuellar is finally breaking her silence, and fans are paying close attention. In a recent conversation, the Golden Bachelor star opened up about her unexpected journey with Mel Owens, offering clarity on what truly unfolded behind the scenes. According to Cindy, what viewers saw on screen was only part of the story. While their connection appeared strong at first, real-life differences slowly began to surface once the cameras stopped rolling. Cindy explained that the pressure of public attention made it difficult to communicate openly, leading to misunderstandings that grew over time. She shared that Mel had been dealing with major personal decisions which affected his ability to fully invest in the relationship. Cindy admitted this created emotional distance, even though there was mutual respect between them. Despite the ending, Cindy emphasized there was no bitterness. Instead, she described the experience as a meaningful chapter that taught her valuable lessons about trust, timing, and self-worth. She also thanked fans for their support, saying their messages helped her stay strong during a challenging period. While rumors continue to swirl, Cindy's honest words have shifted the narrative, proving that not every love story ends in drama, but sometimes in quiet understanding. Cindy went on to explain that after filming Wrapped, reality set in much faster than she expected. Without the structured environment of the show, both she and Mel were suddenly navigating everyday life, distance, and very different routines. What once felt effortless began to require real compromise. She revealed that there were moments when they tried to reconnect privately, hoping things might naturally fall back into place. However, those conversations often circled the same concerns: timing, expectations, and how public attention was shaping their decisions. Cindy admitted that being constantly watched made it harder to follow her heart without second-guessing every move. One detail that surprised fans was Cindy's honesty about walking away. She shared that the decision wasn't driven by conflict, but by clarity. At a certain point, she realized that holding on would mean ignoring her own emotional needs. Sometimes choosing yourself is the hardest choice, she hinted, without placing blame on Mel. Cindy also addressed the online speculation, saying many assumptions simply weren't true. She stressed that there were no dramatic confrontations or secret betrayals, just two people realizing that their paths were heading in different directions. As for Mel, Cindy spoke respectfully, noting that she still believes he has a good heart. She described him as someone going through a period of transition, learning what he truly wants in the next phase of his life. By the end of her reflection, Cindy sounded at peace. She shared that the experience helped her grow more confident and hopeful about love, even if it didn't end the way fans expected. Rather than closing the door on romance, she says she's opening a new one, this time on her own terms. As time passed, Cindy admitted there were quiet moments when she questioned whether things could have turned out differently. Late-night conversations replayed in her mind, especially the ones filled with hope but no clear answers. She explained that uncertainty became the hardest part, not knowing where she stood or what the future held. She revealed that friends close to her noticed the change before she did. They gently reminded her that love shouldn't feel like waiting for reassurance. That advice stayed with Cindy and eventually helped her find the strength to step back and see the situation more clearly. Cindy also opened up about the emotional toll of public opinion. Messages from fans ranged from supportive to overwhelming, and while she appreciated the love, the constant commentary made healing slower. She shared that taking a break from social media became necessary so she could process everything privately. One meaningful detail Cindy shared was a final conversation she and Mel had, calm, honest, and respectful. There were no raised voices, only acceptance. She described it as a moment where both of them acknowledged that caring about someone doesn't always mean staying together. Looking ahead, Cindy said she's focused on rebuilding her sense of peace.
She's spending more time with family, reconnecting with passions she set aside during filming, and allowing herself to imagine love without pressure or expectations. Her story, she believes, isn't about disappointment, it's about growth. And while her chapter with Mel has closed, Cindy made it clear that she's not closing her heart. Instead, she's stepping forward wiser, stronger, and ready for whatever comes next. Cindy shared that in the weeks following their decision to step away from each other, she experienced a mix of relief and sadness. While there was comfort in finally having clarity, there was also a quiet grief for what could have been. She described it as letting go of a future she once imagined, even though she knew it was the right choice. She revealed that stepping back allowed her to see how much she had grown since joining the Golden Bachelor. The experience taught her patience, resilience, and the importance of listening to her inner voice. Cindy admitted that before the show, she often put others' needs first, but this journey changed that. Cindy also addressed the idea of timing. She said she believes some connections come into our lives not to last forever, but to prepare us for what's next. In her words, Mel played a role in helping her understand what she truly wants from a partner moving forward. Fans were especially touched when Cindy spoke about hope. She explained that despite the heartbreak, she hasn't lost faith in love. In fact, she feels more open now, less afraid of vulnerability, and more confident in setting boundaries. She ended her reflection by saying she's embracing a slower pace, allowing life to unfold naturally. Whether love finds her soon or later, Cindy says she's finally at peace with where she stands. For many viewers, her honesty has been a reminder that not every ending needs drama to be meaningful. Sometimes the most powerful stories are the quiet ones. Cindy later revealed that the hardest part wasn't the ending itself, but the silence that followed. After spending so much time sharing daily conversations and hopes, the sudden quiet felt unfamiliar. She said learning to sit with that silence became an unexpected part of her
during this
healing.
period, she revisited old routines, morning walks, journaling, and time spent reflecting on what truly brings her peace. Those small habits helped her regain a sense of balance that had faded amid the excitement of the show and the expectations that came with it. Cindy also spoke about how the experience reshaped her understanding of love later in life. She explained that love isn't about rushing toward certainty, but about choosing connection that feels steady and mutual. That realization, she said, has changed how she approaches relationships going forward. Another detail that stood out was her gratitude toward the journey itself. Even though it didn't end the way she once hoped, Cindy emphasized that she wouldn't erase the experience. She believes it gave her clarity, courage, and a deeper appreciation for honest connection. As speculation continues online, Cindy remains calm. She says she's no longer focused on clearing every rumor, because the truth matters most to the people who truly know her. Instead, she's choosing to move forward quietly, with confidence and grace. Her story continues to resonate with fans, not because of conflict, but because of its authenticity. In a world that often expects dramatic endings, Cindy's journey stands out as a reminder that growth, self-respect, and peace can be just as powerful. Cindy later hinted that the experience changed how she views public relationships altogether. She explained that sharing a connection with the world can sometimes blur the line between what feels real and what feels expected. Learning to separate the two became an important lesson for her moving forward. She admitted there were moments when she felt pressure to explain everything, but over time she realized she didn't owe the public every detail of her healing. Choosing privacy, she said, was an act of self-respect, not avoidance. Cindy also shared how unexpected support came from fellow cast members who understood the unique challenges of life after the show. Those quiet conversations reassured her that she wasn't alone in feeling conflicted once the spotlight faded. As weeks turned into months, Cindy noticed a shift within herself. The sadness softened, replaced by gratitude and calm confidence.
She said she no longer measures the experience by how it ended, but by how much it taught her about patience, communication, and emotional honesty. When asked if she would ever consider another chance at love in the public eye, Cindy didn't give a direct answer. Instead, she smiled and said she's open to whatever feels right, on or off camera. Her story now feels less like an ending and more like a turning point. And while her chapter with Mel belongs to the past, Cindy's journey is still unfolding, quietly, intentionally, and with renewed hope. Cindy eventually acknowledged that stepping away from the relationship gave her something she hadn't expected: clarity without regret. She said that once the emotions settled, she could finally see the situation for what it was, not what she hoped it would become. That clarity, she admitted, brought a surprising sense of freedom. She shared that during this time she received thoughtful messages from viewers who related to her journey. Many told her they saw their own experiences reflected in her story, especially the challenge of choosing peace over uncertainty. Hearing that reminded Cindy that her honesty had meaning beyond her own healing. Cindy also spoke about forgiveness, not just toward Mel, but toward herself. She admitted she had moments of self-doubt, wondering if she had waited too long or expected too much. Letting go of those questions became an important step in moving forward. As life returned to a quieter rhythm, Cindy found joy in simple things again: laughter with friends, spontaneous plans, and moments that didn't need explanation or validation. She said those everyday joys helped her reconnect with who she was before the cameras arrived. When reflecting on the journey, Cindy described it as a chapter she'll always carry with her, not as a burden, but as a reminder of her strength. She believes that love doesn't have to last forever to be meaningful, and that sometimes the bravest thing is knowing when to walk away. Her story continues to resonate because it's grounded in honesty, growth, and grace. And while fans may still wonder what if, Cindy seems focused on what's next, a future she's stepping into with confidence and calm. Cindy later reflected on how the journey reshaped her confidence. She said that for the first time in a long while, she trusted herself completely: her instincts, her boundaries, and her decision to step back when something no longer felt aligned. That trust, she explained, was one of the most valuable outcomes of the experience. She also spoke about rediscovering independence. After the whirlwind of filming and public attention, returning to a life that felt fully her own was both grounding and empowering. Cindy shared that she's learned to enjoy her own company again, finding peace in moments that don't revolve around anyone else's expectations. Another insight Cindy offered was about closure. She explained that closure didn't come from one final conversation or explanation. It came from acceptance. Once she accepted that not every story needs a perfect ending, she felt lighter, more present, and emotionally free. Cindy hinted that the experience has also changed how she listens to herself and to others. She's now more attentive to consistency over promises and effort over words. Those lessons, she said, will guide her choices in any future relationship. As fans continue to revisit her journey, Cindy hopes people take away one simple message: choosing peace is not a loss. Sometimes it's the beginning of something better.
The chapter with Mel may be complete, but Cindy's story continues, rooted in growth, self-respect, and quiet optimism about the road ahead. Cindy also admitted that this chapter helped her redefine what strength looks like. She said strength isn't about holding on at all costs, but about recognizing when something no longer brings peace. Making that choice, she explained, required more courage than staying in uncertainty. She reflected on how easy it is to confuse hope with obligation, especially when others are invested in your happiness. Cindy shared that learning to separate her own feelings from outside expectations was a turning point. Once she did that, the path forward became clearer. During quieter moments, Cindy found herself grateful for the honesty she and Mel were able to share, even near the end. She believes that respect matters most when things don't work out, and she takes comfort in knowing they handled the situation with maturity and care. Cindy also touched on the idea of timing, how two people can care deeply for each other, yet still not be aligned in the same season of life. That realization, she said, removed any lingering resentment and replaced it with understanding. Now, as she looks ahead, Cindy says she feels open, but not rushed. She's allowing life to unfold naturally, trusting that whatever comes next will meet her where she truly is. Love, she believes, should feel like peace, not pressure. Her journey continues to resonate because it's not about drama or spectacle, it's about emotional truth. And in choosing honesty over illusion, Cindy has written a chapter that many quietly recognize as their own. Cindy also spoke about patience, something she admitted she had to learn the hard way. She explained that after the show, everything moved so quickly, from speculation online to her own emotions, that it was easy to feel rushed into conclusions. Slowing down, she said, allowed her to process what truly mattered, rather than reacting to outside pressures. She reflected on the lessons she'd carry forward. Cindy said she now understands that every connection, no matter how brief, can teach something meaningful. Even though her time with Mel didn't lead to a lasting romance, it gave her insight into what she wants and what she won't compromise on in a relationship. Cindy also touched on resilience. She admitted that healing wasn't instantaneous and there were moments when doubt crept in. But over time, she realized that resilience isn't about ignoring pain, it's about honoring it, learning from it, and using it to grow stronger. Another key moment she shared was realizing the value of self-love. Cindy emphasized that true confidence comes from understanding and respecting your own worth, independent of anyone else's opinion or attention. That realization, she said, changed the way she approaches life, love, and friendships. Finally, Cindy hinted that this chapter, while ending with Mel, is just one of many in her journey. She said that now, more than ever, she feels ready for what's ahead, whether that's new love, personal growth, or simply embracing life's unexpected twists with grace. Cindy also reflected on the role of reflection and self-awareness after the breakup. She said that spending time alone allowed her to examine patterns in her past relationships and better understand what she truly values. Sometimes stepping back is the only way to see clearly, she admitted. She shared that she began journaling regularly, writing down her thoughts, fears, and hopes for the future. This practice, she explained, helped her identify recurring doubts and confront them head-on, rather than letting them silently grow. Cindy described it as a way to regain control over her own narrative. Another key insight Cindy revealed was about vulnerability. She said she learned that being vulnerable doesn't make you weak, it's actually a sign of strength. Opening up, even when it's scary, helped her process her emotions authentically, without pretending that everything was fine. Cindy also emphasized the importance of boundaries. She realized that protecting her emotional energy was essential for healing. This meant stepping back from online speculation, social media pressure, and even unsolicited advice from well-meaning friends. I needed to create space to breathe, she said. Finally, Cindy hinted at optimism for what's next. She said she feels more confident, grounded, and ready to embrace life fully. This chapter with Mel taught me a lot, she said, but it doesn't define my story. I get to write the next pages, and I can't wait to see where they lead. Thanks for watching Golden Bachelor. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next big story.